Hi everybody, Leo Babauta from Zen Habits here. So happy to be here with you. In this video, we're going to talk about slowing down and how magnetic that can be, but how it's a deep, deep mindfulness practice that can transform our days. And so let's dive into it. So why am I talking about this? Well, I've been talking to some people who their days are just scattered, right? They're overwhelmed. They have so much to do. They're just swamped. They have a thousand things to do. They're in every spare moment responding to messages, doing it on their computer as well. They're constantly responding to emails. They're jumping from meeting to meeting. They're always kind of running late. They never have time to take care of some of the important things or the small things. There's never enough hours in the day. If they could add 10 more hours in the day, they would. And they're never, despite all of this, they're never actually caught up or on top of things. So this is kind of the state that people are in, is rushing, rushing, rushing from one thing to the next. And always feeling behind, always feeling scattered, feeling anxious, feeling overwhelmed, feeling frustrated, feeling like you're not doing good enough. And so, what people like this will often reach for is what are the tools, the systems, the kind of like external fixes that will fix this for me, right? I want to like have the perfect productivity system so I can finally be organized and on top of my stuff. I want to figure out the right app to use so that I won't be procrastinating, or that I can like simplify my messaging in email, or, what is it that I need to do so that all of this can go away? And the answer is actually really simple. Not that it makes it easy to do, but it's very simple, and that's slowing down. And this is a mindfulness practice. It's also a kind of a way to like emotionally regulate ourselves. But there is something deeper than that in here as well, which I believe is incredibly magnetic and very powerful. So let's talk about slowing down. And what do I mean by slowing down? Because there's a lot of ways that you can slow down. And what I mean is, you don't have to change what you're doing externally, although that could also change. You might do less, you might do it at a slower pace, but you slow down your internal way of being. So let's talk about what that could look like. So let's say I'm rushing, 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 doing one thing to the next, responding to all these messages, going to one meeting to a next. You can see even as I describe this, I'm talking faster, right? And so what if I just took this message and I slowed down and I just really beed with it? So it's like I'm just being with this message. So this is a person, let's say it's my wife that I'm responding to, or a good friend, or my daughter, or a work colleague, or a client. I just slow down and I'm like, this person matters to me. I'm going to really fully consider what they need. And then I'll respond from this slowed down nervous system. Now, I still might continue to do my messages. I might do a little slower in terms of the pace of responding and doing, but what I'm really doing is slowing down how I am internally. And as I do that, my nervous system slows down and is more regulated. My responses might be very different because it's coming from a different kind of place. So when we are very like excited and moving really rapidly, our responses are going to be very different because our nervous system is going to be very different. Whereas if we slow down, take some deep breaths, and come from a place of regulated nervous system, a place of mindfulness and slowness, then the response is going to be very different. You can even feel it in this video when I speed up and I'm going really quickly, and you can feel my voice is a little bit higher, like I'm moving faster, and I'm going to stumble a little bit more, and I'm going to trip over myself, and the actual words are going to be different as well. And you can also notice when I slow down, maybe my voice deepens a bit. Maybe I feel a little calmer to you as I talk. Maybe there's a little bit more room for pauses. Maybe the words that come out are actually different. The way they're delivered is going to be different, but also maybe it comes from a place that has more wisdom in me, perhaps, right? Maybe a little more maturity isn't coming from the teenage self version that is like hyper triggered. I might also not get as upset as much, which means that I'm not going to respond from a place of upsetness. So, what I will say is that slowing down is also a practice of leadership. If we can slow down in the moment, we are leading from a different place and we are allowing others to slow down with us, giving them permission to go a little bit slower. Now, we don't have to tell the person to slow down. All we have to do is lead through our own internal slowing down. If you do that, others will then have permission to go slower themselves in a conversation with you, in a meeting with you. It'll give them more permission to sink into the moment and settle. We lead this way as parents. Imagine if you're leading from a place of, I'm going really quickly and you need to do this and you need to do it because I'm telling you, and you know what I mean? You're kind of going at them a million miles an hour. Imagine what that does to the kid's nervous system, right? As a parent, kind of going at them like this and this and this and this and this, um, from a place of anxiety or frustration or anger, coming at them with this kind of dysregulated nervous system, this does the same thing to their nervous system. Whereas if you breathe for a moment before you respond to your kid, you come from a place of maturity, of regulated nervous system, of everything is fine, we don't need to panic. The kid will also slow themselves down. And you are helping the kid to train their own nervous system to be more regulated. You're helping them to train themselves to slow down a little bit more in their own responses. And they will trust you more. Now, this is not just true of kids, it's true of anyone we're in a relationship with. It doesn't matter if you're in a position of authority, you are leading in a relationship or co-leading perhaps, if you can slow down. It becomes very magnetic because people are like, ooh, this person must know something if they can slow themselves down, if they trust themselves enough to slow down. Now, we don't think those thoughts about someone who slows down, we just feel it. If someone can slow themselves down, they have some kind of trust in themselves and in the moment, in you perhaps. They can slow down, right? It's if you have to go very fast, it's like you're in danger. I can't. But if the person can slow down, there's no danger. They feel safety, they feel trust. And therefore, you can feel trust, you can feel safety, you can slow down. It's very magnetic. And so, when it comes to working with a client, when it comes to sales or marketing or promoting yourself or trying to convince someone, being persuasive, slowing down can make a really huge difference. There's also a deeper, kind of profound version of a mindfulness practice that I do throughout my day and that I highly recommend, that involves slowing down. And so I wanted to touch on that as well. And that is when we are rushing to get to the next thing and try and do all the things, it's as if this moment is not okay as it is. And so we're kind of discarding the present moment so that we can get to the next moment and the next moment, and the next moment, so that we can do all the things because we don't feel okay in the present moment. So if you can slow down, you can actually be really in the present moment with whatever the moment is calling for. And that might mean responding to a message. It might mean being with this person who you're in conversation with. It might mean attending to something that needs attending to. Maybe I need to wash a dish or put something away. It might just mean attending to your own emotions. But whatever it is, you're slowing down and you are being more present. And what that is there's a acceptance that this moment is good as it is. And even deeper, and I believe more profound, is you can slow down and really experience the sacredness of every single moment. It is my belief that every moment has sacredness to it, and that's a holiness. Whatever your religion is, maybe you have no religion, but you can believe, you can experience the amazing, profound wonder available in every single moment, the magic in every moment. That's the sacredness of a moment. And we can't experience that if we are rushing past it to get to the next moment. So slowing down can allow us to be fully in the sacredness of the present moment, moment after moment. And this becomes how we experience our day. So one last thing I'll say before I get to a couple practical tips on slowing down is I just touched on something that's really important, which is we feel that this moment is not okay as it is. It's not enough. It needs to be fixed. And the way we do that is by doing all the things as fast as possible, rushing to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, as opposed to, I don't need to do anything because this moment is perfect as it is. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't something you want to do in this moment, but what that means is there's nothing lacking in the present moment. And when you look at this, what there really is a lack of trust that we are okay in this moment. We feel there's something lacking in us. We rarely recognize that. But as we try and do all the things, what we're really doing is trying to make sure that we are okay because we feel that there is something that's not okay about us unless we go and do all the things. We're not okay in this moment. We have no trust in that. That is why we're rushing and trying to do all the things. So slowing down, what it really does is it starts to develop, you start to create some trust that you are okay if you slow down, that it is okay to slow down and you will be okay in every single moment and there is nothing lacking in you. Now, from this place of not lacking, you can still do stuff. You might want to create art. You might want to help someone. You might want to do something purposeful. But you do it from a place of, I am complete as I am in this moment, and I don't need to do anything to make up for a certain lack that I have. So that is the underlying thing that we are really starting to develop trust in as we slow down. Okay, a couple of practical tips about slowing down. One is just to notice when you're rushing. This is part of our operating system these days, is to be rushing from one thing to the next on our computers, on our phones, on our meetings, in everything that we're doing. We are rushing, rushing, rushing. So just notice, this is how I am right now. I am rushing, rushing, rushing. I'm anxious. I'm overwhelmed. I need to do all the things. I feel behind. I need to do this, 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 this. Once you've noticed that, pause. Slow down your breathing. Let yourself pause in between, things that you want to say, between messages, between tasks. In a conversation, you might slow down and let yourself pause and think. And just trust that it's okay to take a moment. Just say, give me a moment. Let me think about this. And trust that it's okay to take a moment to think. Trust that it's okay to pause. Trust that it's okay to stop and to listen to the other person without having to rush to express yourself. Trust that it's okay to slow your nervous system down and come from a place of calmness. Now, you are going to forget this. And so slowing down is really about a practice of remembering to slow down. But as you do so, you will remember more and more. You will trust more and more. And you will have an increased capacity to live life at a slower pace, or at least inwardly to live life with a slower inward way of being. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up. It helps others to find it in the beautiful algorithm that is here on YouTube. Leave a comment. Let me know if you have any thoughts on this. I love hearing your comments. I don't always respond as quickly as I'd like, but I do read every single comment. I try to respond with something at some point. Please subscribe if you'd like more of this content coming at you. Try to put out a video every week, and subscribing really helps to build the community. And share this with others who could use some slowness and some Zen habits in their lives. Thanks, my friends.